Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday, everybody. How are we doing? You all having a good time? It's Wednesday, which means we're at the halfway point, guys. Well, technically not. You have to get through 3.5 days, so really about midday on Thursday is the halfway point. But we're halfway point. Halfway point of the week on a Wednesday. Not long now before the weekend. And yeah, we're live today. And today I mean, this is mostly just going to be a talking head type situation. I'm going to be talking to you because, you know, as the title suggests, I want to find out. I want to find out what you guys are doing. If you see in the description, but also, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next that's going to make me happy, because I'm worried that I'm getting very tired, which doesn't help that I've been painting as many miniatures as I have been in the last couple of weeks. But there's also been a hesitance to finish it, because I don't know what to do next. I'm kind of paralyzed by paralyzed with indecision about what to do next. So today we're going to talk, we're going to hang out, and it's all going to be a good time. Good evening to the tattooed zoologist Wildy, CJster 917, Frothy Paints, Laucannon, Dahi McGibbon, Thomas, Colonel 149th of the Death Corps of Krieg, Asmodeus, Martin Spoon, Dambuster UK, Ricky Drinks Paints, Elecman 24, James Matthias, hello, Snazzy Gaz, hello. Good evening, Fake Street Spirit as well. As always, if you guys could leave a like on the stream, that would be incredible, because we're trying to get to the big 50. That's our first goal. Our second goal is the much more entertaining number 69. But it's a free way to support the channel. And all you have to do is click the like button. How's Consort Radahn faring for you? Well, I finished it. I only went and did it. I only went ahead and finished it like a boss. Here is the screenshot capture to prove it. There you go. There's my character. And this was the photo I took on my phone of me doing it, holding the wing stance with Milady. Yeah, no, I managed to do it. And that made me feel very happy. It made me feel very happy indeed. Death Metal Josh rules. Good evening, Captain Mannerings. Thank you very much. Is this because of my hair? Is it because my hair is all wild and wacky at the moment? It's because I had a very good shower today, and I liked the way it fell. So I'm like, I'm not going to tie it up. I'm not going to smush it down. I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm just going to let my inner wild man out. So there it is. And do you know what? Part of me, like, it's interesting that you're saying that this is Death Metal Josh. Part of me was like, hey, I should show everybody my 16 Josh from 16-year-old Josh's guitar that finally got cleaned up and fixed, and I now have back in my possession, having not had it for, I guess, must have been like the last 5-10 years. It's been living at my parents' house because my dad played it a little bit, but I might get it out later. Hello, Reza. How are you doing? I love you. So everybody out there now knows as well. Scott M, how are you doing, Josh? Like, how are you really doing? Also, to answer your question, I'm finishing up Scaventide, but after that, I'm going to work on Dominion since I grabbed that box for $80 on Amazon. That is an absolute bargain. How am I really doing? I'm actually doing pretty well. I'm okay. I'm good. I think what I'm in at the minute is this kind of in between time. So like I'm feeling fairly level, but at the same time, like I know that I'm like a bad day away from having a really, really bad time. Do you see what I mean? And I think that's kind of why today I'm like, hey, let's have a little chat about this kind of thing, because as long as I can distract that a little bit in terms of, because we're coming out, so to be giving a little bit of explanation, we're coming out of Me Time May straight into June, July, where we've been doing Scaventide. So Me Time May was all spearheads. June was mostly spearheads as well in Age of Sigmar, and I was loving it. July has been all Scaventide. It's the only thing I've done in July so far is Scaventide, and that has been great. But I'm coming to the end of Scaventide, so I'm basically 3 paints away from finishing the Jezzails. I've got the 4 bits of terrain and 5 liberators in 5 different schemes left to do. So we're this close, right? So if I was like super motivated and on it and focused, I could have that done by the end of Sunday. But something within me is stopping me from really hammering it. So like last night I was like, just shake it off, and I absolutely blitzed through the Jezzails. Hence why I'm only like 3 paints away from having finished them. Today's been quite busy because I've had a bunch of other stuff to do, but I'm just yeah, that's where I'm currently at. So like I'm coming off of the back of what has ostensibly been 3 months of awesome. Maybe build a battleground, buy some foam, and let's go. Yeah, it's possible. It's a thing I could do. But that's the long way round answer. What about some days off? Oh dear. Oh no, we can't do that. Days off, absolutely not. No, what I don't need is time off. Having a couple of, having like half a day here and there is perfectly acceptable to relaxing my head. But if I just don't do anything, if I don't make content, you might as well just put a gun to the head of the channel. We you know, you could come help us move, Josh. I could do that. What is everybody in the chat currently working on at the moment? We're in the manic final pack before moving day tomorrow. Oh, I'm very excited for your move day. I'm very excited. Your house is going to be wonderful. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth all of it. question for you. Using Leviathan blue as the shade, Cantor blue as the base, what colours would you follow with for the next highlights? So are you doing... Are you painting it Leviathan blue and then putting Cantor blue over the top? Is that what you're doing? Snazzy Gaz is painting killer cans. Martin Spoon is putting the finishing touches on Cyrene's razors from my recipe. Ooh. James is doing the older Stormcast spearhead and the city's spearhead. Nice. Yes, for Eldar. Okay, so usually Cantor blue, the highlights I would use on that would be, depending on how dark it is, especially if you're doing Leviathan first, you could probably do either a Latok and then Hoeth, a Latok blue and then Hoeth blue, or you could do Hoeth blue and then Fenrisian grey, depending on how bright you want to go. That would be how I would. That's how I usually do that colour. I started painting the Skaven Warp Blaster following your video, 2/3 through the video, and it is looking good. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome, Mike. I'm glad. Mr. Owen's working on some Iron Jaws. CJ's is building some Armigers right now. Deathwing Terminators plus Captain and some kit-bashed / converted characters. Nice. Finishing off Marnius Calgar and Chums before moving on to Skaventide. Is that the old Finecast Marnius Calgar, or is that the plastic Marnius Calgar with the Victrix guard? Finished building my two first spearhead armies, Old Stormcast and Cruel Boys. I'm going to play my first game of AOS with friends soon. Finishing painting Mosrog Scrag Bad while working on building Skaventide. Still can't wait for your Uthak video. I know. Again, I just have no time in my life, usually. What are you saying to me, Alec, man? Not sure that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm torn between priming my Skaventide Stormcast models, building Ionis Cryptborn, or building my winnings from Tails since I just got them today. Alright, do you want to build or prime? Is the question. It seems like you've got two things to build and one set to prime, so maybe build. See you later, tattooed zoologist. Plastic one, Hero Fist in the air. Nice. I have the resin ones somewhere, the Finecast ones. I'm not sure where they've gone, though. They're here in this house. Probably in a box. A box within a box within a box. It's usually how it is. Building Vigilors. If I had any hair, I would pull it out. Yeah, the Vigilors aren't easy. And also the instructions in the Vigilors are a bit dumb. They don't, as I recall, they don't 100% make sense as you're going along. Which is why I ended up doing 2 units of 5 in 2 different storm hosts, so I didn't have to do all of the alternate builds. Huge question at Warhipster. What are your thoughts on buying complete paint collections? I'm considering it, but not 100% yet. This is interesting. I think buying complete paint collections is not a good idea, regardless of who it is. So whether it's the contrast paint range, or whether it's the base layer range from Citadel, or whether it's all of the Vallejo game colors, or all of the army painter thing, I think if you're gonna buy an entire paint range, in order to maximize the economy of that paint range, you lock yourself into that paint range / brand, because from that point on, if you then need different colors, you're probably best just buying 1 or 2. So that is one way of doing it. So like I have majority of the Citadel range. I don't have all of it, but I have the majority of it. There's a couple of basin layers that I don't have, just because they never come up. But I just don't do them. But I think you don't want to lock yourself too much into a single paint range unless money is no object. In which case, then by all means, because there's lots of there's lots of different things. But if you buy the entire range of Citadel and then you need to replace the white, perfectly fine. But you don't buy the entire range of Citadel to then replace it with the entire range of Vallejo, because then you just end up with stacks and stacks and stacks of paint. I know some people say some paints are better than others, but functionally at a certain point it becomes about what the colour is, and if the colours are the same, you've just got the same colour twice in 2 different pots from 2 different ranges. Do you see what I mean? Is the Griff Crow really supposed to be on a 25mm base? It doesn't seem to fit right. No, see, I don't think it is. I think it's meant to be on a 32mm base, which is what I put mine on. I put the Griff Crow on a 32mm base, and then I just clipped off the peg on one of the Skaven characters, and also put that on a 32mm. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it's supposed to be on a 32, because most Griff things, there is an additional 32mm base in the box already. There wasn't in mine. I had an additional bag of 40mm bases with no hex holes in them. That was fun. I thought, what are these going to be used for? Fox281981, thank you so much for becoming a member. You are our first new member of the day. You're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. That is incredibly kind of you. Absolute legend. My approach to buying paint is what has the Warhipster use this time and get what I am missing, as I have a Warhammer shop just around the corner from where I work. Yeah. That's one way of doing it. Well, at least with me, you know it's always going to be from the same range. What is closest to Tyrian Purple from the paint that Citadel have? What's Tyrian Purple? Is Tyrian Purple an actual colour? When I Google it, Tyrian Purple comes up as a colour. And then there's several different versions of what Tyrian Purple actually looks like. Probably Shyish Purple would look like the majority of these, to my eye. But again, there's people are saying Tyrion's Purple one thing. This one thing was one. There's multiple different people saying what Tyrian Purple is. Juan Hidalgo recently did a good video of the best paints from all ranges to give you a complete range of colours. Oh, well, there you go. Go and check out Juan's video after the stream. Please don't leave me. I have an Iron Jaws Warband and a Blood Bowl Tree Man to paint before Skabentide begins. Exciting. My approach to buying paint is I haven't tried anything from that line yet. Better buy the whole range. I understand that. Who's Juan? I have only one. You have Juan Paint Daddy. That's me. I think it's a bit closer to Magos Purple based on the first result, or two at least. Well, yeah, but Magos Purple doesn't look like that when you put it on a model. And then when you scroll down, the majority of them are not saying that it's that. It's either somewhere between Shyish purple or Luxion purple, or Leviathan purple. It's any of them really, according to my googling. So without knowing exactly what example of Tyrian purple you're asking for, I can't give you an accurate answer. Because it's like if you look up like I don't know, ochre, you get 40 different choices of what an ochre is. And by the way, the fire slayers are back on the way to you. This time they should arrive directly without any custom stuff. Crossing fingers that this works this time. Oh, that hopefully Asmodeus. I'm so sorry that went wrong last time. Have you considered new adventures in basing? Is Astra Granite inspiring? I hate basing. But I've used plenty of Astra Granite in my time. All of my Blood Angels have got Astra Granite on them. Astra Granite Debris was the bomb, but you can't get it anymore. You can only get Astra Granite. I like Astra Granite just fine. It's perfect for doing colder bases. So, like, I often Astra Granite pairs really nicely with Valhallan Blizzard and Longbeard Grey as a dry brush. So using Astra Granite, then Longbeard Grey, then a bit of Valhallan Blizzard, as well as some tufts. Hello, Kataro. You really do hate basing. I love it. I'm glad. I know a lot of people do love basing. I despise it with every fibre of my being. Oh, that's just another thing I have to do at the end of the paint job. It is always the last thing, but it's fine. I just don't want to spend more time on it than I necessarily have to. It's why all of my bases end with dry brushing. Just never line highlight anything on a base. Mostly because I'm finishing the basing the day of the edit of the video. And the video is going out later that day. So today I finished off the Reclusians bases before editing the Reclusians, before getting that video ready for tomorrow. You know? It's a funny one. Good old basing. Back to the initial topic. I think it would be great if you try all the spearheads you painted together with Liam. I would love to watch that. Yeah, so would I. So would I. I'd like to play games. I'd like to play some games with Spearhead. I'd like to play a lot of games of 2,000 points as well. And do you know what? Surprisingly, I'd even like to have a go at this weird version of 40k that we have at the moment. Hello, have you played much New Sigmar yet? How are you enjoying it? My son and me have just started and played a few Spearhead games. Very easy to get going. I haven't played any New Sigmar. I played half a game of Spearhead with Reza, Adam and Chris at Warhammer World, and I played one turn of a game of Age of Sigmar at Warhammer World, and I haven't had time to do any games since. Not for lack of trying. But yeah, just haven't been able to. Been too busy painting the box. Hello, Vicious Goose 117. I hate priming. That's the worst part of it all. Priming's pretty bad. Priming's awful because it's prone to mistakes. This is the part I think it's probably, for me, it's probably a case of the reason I dislike the things about making models as much as I do is because of the possibility for mistakes because I don't see myself as making too many mistakes when I'm actually painting. But when it comes to basing, I can make mistakes. Same for priming, same for building. All of those times are where you can make mistakes. Now, if you make a mistake during basing, you can correct it. If you make a mistake during priming, you have to go and throw it in some goop in order to strip the model, because you've made such a, usually because it's too dusty or whatever, or it's all too heavy a primer, or it's not quite right, or you've messed up the priming job, so it needs to be stripped. And that for me is a delay in time, which I just can't abide. Building's the same, because if you scrape too much, or if you make a miscut or a misclip, it's possible to eternally ruin a component for the rest of time. Which is why I think it's not my favorite thing to do. Have you seen the Horde mode co-op way to play 40k? It's a homebrewed way to play from a popular 40k YouTube/podcast. Seems fun. I've heard of things like that in the past, and it does sound like a good idea. The reason I'm a little bit turned off by 40k at the moment is I feel like it's, and I've expressed this in the past, and it has been the way it has been for 9th edition and 10th edition, is that it speaks to it is so catered towards the competitive crowd, in that there's very little flavor within it. But because there's very little flavor within it, it means like the prevalence of the amount of stuff in it that is strength 6 -2 damage 2 is absolutely astronomical. So when it comes to a game like that where they've hit upon this sweet spot of, let's just make it all strength 6 -2 damage 2 in order to make that the most balanced way of playing the game, is that I don't want a sanitized, balanced version of my tabletop war games. And I know that sounds like a weird thing to say. I always want to have a chance at winning games of Warhammer. I don't ever want to kind of like be put down against an opponent that will absolutely kick me in the face and there is nothing I can do about it, like happened multiple times during 9th edition. But I feel like the game has been sanitized to the point of where you just get kicked in the face based on who goes first, and whether that's tabling in the form of losing all your models, or a tabling in the form of I've already scored 80 points and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's like, oh, this was really fun for both of us, wasn't it? So what I like is I like armies to have just insane combos that you can pull off. That when you read them out loud, you go, "Ugh, that seems a bit ugh." But I like that. I like those things. I really enjoy those. And I'm tired of books coming out where it's just like, yeah, these guys give you -1 to hit, and this one lets your units reroll 1 hit dice and 1 wound dice per phase. Nice. What do the characters do? They give the unit that they're leading a feel no pain. What else do they do? Oh, that's it. Do you see what I mean? You want to have a really fun game of Warhammer, but it's like, just because they've taken all the teeth out of the game, it's like, it's partly this thing of like, my opponents aren't going to flatten me, and I also can't flatten my opponents. So there's no flattening. So we look for really boring ways to win the game. Do you see what I mean? I don't know. It doesn't help that I don't like this rule set. And it's funny because we've got a rule set now that's just come out, obviously, in the form of 4th edition Age of Sigmar, which actually shows you how it kind of could have been. So, like, Universal Special Rules. I didn't want Universal Special Rules to come back. I really didn't want them to come back to 40k. And then they did, and you kind of make... The ones that they brought back make sense, but they gave them silly names. And then for AOS went, I mean, look, we've got consistent rules. We're not going to really call them Universal Special Rules, but they kind of are Universal Special Rules. They're just characteristics, and they literally do exactly what they say on the tin. It's crit auto wound. Okay. Makes sense. Rather than devastating wounds. And some of it happens in the to wound roll, and some of it happens on the to hit roll, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, it takes away from the... Like, they say they did this to make things a little bit easier. And you put in a rule called Sustained Hits 1. And what do we all call that? Exploding sixes. So it's like, cool. I don't know. 40k just makes me really sad. Makes me really sad at the moment. The concept of it. So I love 40k. I've been a 40k hobbyist. My first model was a 40k model. It was a Necron, Metal Necron. 40k has been the thing I primarily played for many years. And then Lord of the Rings came out, and that was what I primarily played. But then after that, I then went to university, and it was back to 40k. And then when I came back to the hobby, and eventually started a YouTube channel, it was 40k was the focus all the time. And I loved Age of Sigmar. I really loved Age of Sigmar, but I adored 8th edition 40k. I really loved it, because at that point, 8th edition 40k and Age of Sigmar were functionally the same game. So it was just like, pick your flavor, essentially. But so, at the moment, I just look at 40k and I go, I just don't know what state it's in. And I think I get anxiety just thinking about how much I have to try and remember and where to go and find it. Which is why I'm just like... all this designer's commentary. And you know as well that when you turn up to the... especially in this day and age, if you turn up to an event or something, or to a game with someone, and you're not fully prepared for that, and you're like, oh, it works this way, and they go, actually, it's written in the FAQ, blah, 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 blah. You have to have known that, because otherwise you're clearly cheating. I'm like, no, I didn't know it was there. I didn't know that this had been changed in an addendum that was on a website in a section that is not immediately obvious to me every single time I go on there, because I don't care enough about it. I want it all in my book that I bought and that I've brought with me. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So I'm just like, oh, I'd love to be in love with 40k again. I missed that part about me, and I think that's part of why I'm like, I don't know what to do next, because the thought of having to go and do a bunch of 40k stuff makes me kind of go, ugh. I don't really want to do that. And then I have all this anxiety around, games that I don't fully understand, but I really want to understand, but I don't have anyone else to sit and explain it to me, because I'm dumb, everybody. I need to... I can't read a rule book and immediately absorb it. I just can't concentrate on it. I can't go, oh, okay, yeah, cool, that's how that works. I have to see it happen in person in front of me. I have to have somebody explain it as it's going on and working for me. That's ideal for me. So, like, I really want to play Legions Imperialis, but every time I pick up that book, my brain just goes, nope, we're not going to retain any of this. Have you played any Horus Heresy at all, Josh? I played tons of 7th edition, so yes, kind of. A living digital rule set would really help. Yeah, I agree with that. Guys, I also just have to say, well done. We've got past 55 likes on the stream. That is awesome stuff. We now need to shoot for that 69. Hey. And as always, if you want to support the channel a little bit more, just to ensure that we continue to make content for the rest of time, you can do so by sending a super chat, or you can do so by becoming a member or gifting some memberships. All of those things are extremely appreciated, and they are necessary for paying my bills. But yeah, like, I mean, maybe MESBG is where I go next, and paint a lot of those models, because those will be fun. But I guess another part of what I'm kind of worrying about is we've done Age of Sigmar basically consistently for the last 3 months, which means that views are down, subscribership is down, and all that kind of thing. Because what people want to see is 40k content, because it's the most popular game. But I don't want to paint any 40k models. Do you paint or play any Necromunda? I haven't. I played 1 game of Necromunda no, 3 games of Necromunda. Sorry, that was a misrepresentation. I played 3 games of Necromunda when the box came out, when it was relaunched, when it had the Escher. Is it Escher? Yeah. The Escher and the people in red, whose name I completely forgot. What were they called? When Necromunda re-released. Anyway, I played a couple of games in it, and I thought, this is fun. And at the time, it had basically come out after I'd played tons of 7th edition Kill Team, and a game mode called Shadow War Armageddon. If anyone ever played that. The Goliath. Thank you, LA Man. So, Necromunda felt like a continuation of that, in a good way. What is MESBG? Middle-earth strategy battle games, James. Lord of the Rings. I know what you mean regarding rulebooks. I'm wanting to get into Horus Heresy myself, and that rulebook makes me want to die whenever I try to read it. Yeah, I mean, this is the tough thing, right? Is you go, I really want to. I really want to have a, you know, like when you go into Games Workshop and you get to have an intro 101. You get to do build, paint, plays. You get to build a Space Marine or a Stormcast Eternal. You get to put a bit of paint on it, and then you get to play a game. And it's very, very open to interpretation set of rules. I should actually say, thank you very much for the 6 months of membership, Ishmael. That is very kind of you. Thank you. But if someone was as passionate about something like it, do you know what I mean? Someone was as passionate about Horus Heresy, and I didn't have to do a 3,000 point army of Horus Heresy before I could play. I could go and they would be like, this is how much I love it, let me play this with you and show you how it works. Then I'm 100% up for it. But I'm in this slightly weird position of if I want to engage in a game, I have to figure it all out by myself. And you go, oh, I don't know. I just don't have the brain power to do that. See what I mean? Hello, Chris Bailey. How you doing? 11th edition will solve all our problems. I believe 11th edition will be the greatest edition of Warhammer 40,000 that has ever existed. Because I think you can only look across the aisle at Age of Sigmar and see that it's at this moment in time. We don't know for sure how it's going to. We don't know for sure how it's going to go. But if after probably like 6 or 7 battle tomes, we're still consistently saying that Age of Sigmar is in the best place it's ever been, and it's the best game that they make, then they will look across the aisle at Age of Sigmar and go, okay, cool. We need to buck our ideas up, you see. I have a little bit of trepidation about the battle tomes. I don't know how they're going to go. Because the indexes for these these faction packs, as they're called, indexes. The indexes for these faction packs that we've got at the moment they're quite all-encompassing. There's a lot of choice in there. You have your 4 different battle traits, formations, whatever they're called. 3 different relics, 3 different not relics, what they're called, artifacts of power, 3 different heroic traits, and all that kind of thing. You've got a ton of stuff in these faction packs that they feel fairly fully formed. So what's going to happen when a battle tome comes out? Is it going to be the same set of rules but with a chunk of lore at the beginning, or is there going to be completely rewritten battle formations? Is there going to be a list of 12 to 15 artifacts and things like that? Is that what we're getting? I don't know. I have no idea. We haven't seen the first one yet, and we'll have to wait. Try boarding actions, maybe. I don't want to. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to build and paint all of that terrain. That's a lot of terrain. Also, it's just like I don't really want to. Boarding actions in principle is really cool. But it's like this kind of thing of you shouldn't have to try and fit the product. The product should fit you. See what I mean? Like, you shouldn't have to change everything about yourself in order to enjoy something. The thing should fit with what you want to enjoy. And I'm at that point in 40k where I don't want to change myself to fit the game. Do you see what I mean? Like, if this rule set of Age of Sigmar was an absolute disaster, I would be saying exactly the same things. And at the moment, it doesn't look like it is an absolute disaster. It looks like it's in a good place. And so I don't have to change how I enjoy. I don't have to change how I enjoy Age of Sigmar. At the moment. I was also in quite a privileged position in that I have so many Age of Sigmar models that I only had to do 2 or 3 things. Well, it was like 8 models, wasn't it? 8 or 9 models to have 9 full spearheads. So I didn't have to do too much to enjoy it. Isn't boarding actions more melee focused, thus being right up your alley? It is a little bit. It certainly can be. It can also still be stand at the end of the corridor and hope you don't walk into it and get shot in the face. But that boarding actions compendium book is coming out soon, isn't it? So we'll see what that brings. I think that is just a amalgamation of all the rules that we've had for boarding actions, rather than anything that's kind of like brand new content. But I'm not entirely certain. Hello, Imperium. Weird. Good evening, Chewy Zero. How are you? Painting Croxagores with your tutorial right now. Thank you very much for your work here. You're very welcome, Dennis. You're very welcome indeed. I'd have to buy a lot of the terrain as well. I think I've got like half a set. So I'd have to buy another half set of terrain. I just don't want to do that. I don't have any money. There's a lot of money to spend on a game mode that I won't get to play. So yeah. I think just what I need to do is I need to play. I need to play the bloody games. Who wants to come over and play Warhammer with me? I'm painting Abraxia with your tutorial right now as well. Love your videos. I can understand the want to move away from AOS for a bit, but I use your AOS videos all the time. Yeah, I mean, I do love Age of Sigmar. I adore it. I love it very, very much. I've just painted a lot of it in the last 3 months. Just primed 4 spearheads with the airbrush. My poor finger hurts. Do you know what happens if I've realized if I prime like after like 50 models, my hand just can't grip anything for the rest of the day. So then I try and paint afterwards, and I'm like, I can't do it. What's been the best and worst things about becoming a YouTuber? Hope you get your gaming mojo back soon. That is one of the best questions. Best things about becoming a YouTuber. I am my own boss. I'm doing what I love to do. Just paint miniatures and help people. I've made a bunch of international friends. The world over. It's creative. And I'm a creative person at heart. All of those things. The worst parts about being a YouTuber is you are completely beholden to the channel when it's just a solo, when it's just a person, it's a single person entity like myself. And what I do is I make a lot of videos. Because the intention is to make a video that can be a piece of evergreen content, right? And that's what is the bread and butter of the channel. And I would never say that somebody who, for example, plays video games for a living, that what they do is easy. Because it's not. None of it's easy. But because what you have to be in order to be successful at that is you have to be good. You have to be good at games. And if you're not, then you're not going to be very successful. Or you have to be really funny in how bad you are. That's part of it. So either really good or really funny is one of the two options. So the stressful part of the channel is when you make videos like this, there's a lot of time that goes into making a video that isn't actually making of the video, because you're doing your filming and then you're editing and then you're uploading and then you just hope people want to watch it. So the stressful part of it is, the stressful part of being a YouTuber is when you make a video that you hope people want to watch and then no one does. And if no one watches it, it means you don't pull in any ad revenue. And if you don't pull in any ad revenue, then next month becomes quite tight. Do you see what I mean? I'm sure someone would want to teach you the games over Tabletop Simulator if you wanted. Not physical models, but could be a good way to learn. Yeah, but is that the fun way? Is that the fun way to learn something? To get excited for something? I don't know that it is. He's still salty about Magnus. I am salty about Magnus. I get salty about any of the videos that everybody wants to watch and then no one does. The same thing will happen with Shalaxi Hellbane, I guarantee you. Exactly the same thing. What are the plans for Warhammer going forward? More Spearhead? Well, that's it. I don't know, Thomas. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where my inspiration's going to come from. Because I can sit and paint more Spearheads, but I'm not sure I want to right away. I've done a lot of models this month. When all is said and done, I'll tell you how many I've painted in. As of now, we're 24 days into July, so we have done. In July, we've done 10, 21, 61, 64, 65, 66, 67, 70, 73, 74, 75, 76, 79 models in the last 24 days. Yeah, it's interesting you say that, Philip, because I think there's a degree of that as well. Of I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for things now. I'm waiting to see what a new battle tome is going to look like. I'm waiting to see what the Stormcast release is going to look like. I'm waiting to see what the Skaven stuff is going to look like. I'm waiting for Space Marine 2. I really want to play Space Marine 2. I'm desperate to play Space Marines 2 because it looks great. It looks really, really good, and I think it might speak to that kind of nostalgia element that I think I'm missing a little bit. Because that Space Marine game, I loved playing Space Marine 1. I love that. It's not a brilliant game by any stretch of the imagination. It's not groundbreaking in any in any way, but it's a really, really good, solid video game. And I want Space Marine 2 to be that, and I really want to play it. And it's like, oh, I have to wait. No, there's like 6 weeks for it. Are 40 of your 79 models the Skaven clan rats? They are indeed, Dave. Star Wars Outlaws, buddy. Yeah. When's that out? That's out in August, isn't it? I don't know how much time I want to put into that. August 31st. Okay. I thought it was a bit earlier than that, but alright. Well, August 31st for Star Wars Outlaws is precisely 8 days before Space Marine 2 comes out. Can you afford to take a little holiday and reset the mind? Not really. Unfortunately. Because, like I said, like Skaven Tide has been good content. People have really enjoyed it. People have been watching it a lot. But because of the month before, I'm paying for the sins of the month before, basically. So I need another really strong month of content to try and break even, basically. Do you have any plans to extend your content of the video somehow? Lore, gameplay, stuff like that. Stuff like that's really hard to do. It's hard to do it in a way that that is meaningful. Without just kind of throwing in a bunch of clickbait, which I tend not to do. We really don't really have a setup here to film loads of battle reports or gaming content, which is a shame. We just don't have the space. And like, I've done a little bit of it, and you've seen some of it in the videos, right? Where we've got the table out in the shed. The problem with that room is everything's yellow in it. It's bright yellow walls, so everything is tinted yellow. So no matter what you do, even if you fill it full of white light, everything still looks yellow, right? And there's also just not enough space out there to fill it full of like filming equipment and lights and stuff. As if you do that, there's no room for anyone to stand. It's hard work, this YouTube stuff. What also hasn't helped is because of the downturn in statistics, and because YouTube has had its fair share of problems the last couple of weeks as well. It means that the creators are suffering for it a little bit. So there's stuff like there's been a couple of days where YouTube just broke. So any super chats or gifted memberships just didn't show up. And then a bunch of it was refunded back. So what happens then is you can end up in a situation where YouTube's analytics report to you that on a day you made minus 50 quid. And you're like, what the hell? Why do I owe you money now? Hey, hope all is well. I was wondering how you get the right angle to film your videos and not have the camera obstruct your hands. I'm trying to figure out how to do some of it myself, but it's tough. Hello, Loco TV. How are you doing, buddy? How you get the right angle to film your videos and not have the camera obstruct your hands? So, I mean, the way I do it is I have this camera mounted. How far off the desk is it? It's about 24, 28 inches or something off the desk. So I have a desk mounted arm, right? So it's an articulated arm. If I twizzle the camera here, you should be able to see it. So there's the camera, and here's the arm that comes round, and then that is desk mounted back there. So all of this space in front of me, I used to have everything situated on the front of my desk, so on this side, but then I put everything at the back, so it's all back there now, so that I've got this field of vision. And then if I go over to here, it means that because we've got the top down shot, I can just have the model like so. Now ideally there would be a second camera that would be positioned like here at this kind of angle, so that I could paint like that, but also cut to, if I needed to, I could bring it up like this and paint on that angle as well. But I don't have that. Oh, you're very welcome, Loco. You're very welcome. I follow what you've been doing on Instagram, and you're painting up an absolute storm. Exceptional work that you're doing over there. Do you have any enthusiasm for the old world, and do you have any intention in playing it? I have some enthusiasm for the old world. This is the thing. I had loads of enthusiasm for Old World last year, and then I feel like it's fallen a little bit flat. So at the moment, I'm reserving my interest for Old World for when the elves start coming out. So I'm waiting for the high elves and the wood elves, basically. Because of the models that exist within the range, bearing in mind we're not really getting new models for the Old World, those are the ones that I actually really like. So I don't want to paint ancient skeletons. I don't want to paint old knights on horses. I don't want to paint old dwarf models. I don't want to paint old orcs. I want to paint, it's basically the case of what old models do you want to paint? I want to paint old wood elves and old high elves. So that's what I'm excited for. I thought you were excited for the dwarves, weren't you? No, I was excited for Young Grim Iron Fist. That's it. That one model. That's the only one. I love that new one. Old Lord of the Rings model too, I hope. I'm actually very excited for the new Lord of the Rings models they keep previewing. The Arnor stuff. I just got 2 little sets of the older metal Lord of the Rings sets with Frodo, Sam and Gollum, both depicting Emyn Muil. Although in different styles, I want to make a mini diorama for display. I was wondering if you have any tips for painting these 3 wonderful characters. I actually have them somewhere. I mean, general tips on hobbits. If you check out my Treebeard video, in that video I paint Merry and Pippin. That might help. There'll be some stuff in there, like for the cloaks and stuff, that might work for the elven cloaks. What other hobbits have I done? There's other ones. Maybe it is just Merry and Pippin. Yeah. I like, if you look at the Treebeard video, there's some stuff in there that can help. Like for trousers and stuff. I think for Frodo you want to go for a red jacket, and for Sam it's more of a grey, as I recall. Can't wait for the next Middle Earth supplement. Me too. I'm excited for that one. That one should be great. Asmodeus, thank you very much for the 10 gifted memberships. That is exceptionally kind of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Only 131 to go. Can we get 131 in the next hour? The answer is probably not. 369. That's my guy right there. I love it. Edward 75. Thank you for the 1 gifted membership. 369 was short-lived. Thank you so much, Edward. That's very kind of you. Are you planning to paint some Forge World Primarch models at some point? Yeah, I have 2. I have Fulgrim Transcended and I have Mortarion to do. I will get on them at some point. I also have Chin Shah, who's not a Primarch, but is a character series model. Oh, and I should say, my shoulder pads finally turned up, actually. My White Scars ones. So I'll be able to finish this guy. I think I just have to... I think they're resin, so I have to wash them. But I'll be able to finish this and then build the other 2. Which means I'll be able to start the White Scars at long last. Well, I technically started them already with Jagatai Khan. Can't wait to see your take on Fulgrim. Me too. I have no idea what I'm going to do for it yet. That will come to me when I pick it up and start painting it. That one's going to be a fun one to film because it's enormous. I have a Raldoron, but want to get more info on working with resin before I dive into that project. Chinshar is an amazing mini too. He is. I really like that Raldoron miniature as well. I was going to buy it when we were at Warhammer World, but I couldn't. They didn't have it in stock. So I bought Chinshar instead. Currently painting Vulcan for my Salamander boys. That's a nice Primarch model. I mean, I would love to do all of them. It's just very expensive. We've done like 8 or 9 though. What have we done? Horus. Horus Ascended. Magnus the Red. Sanguinius. Dawn. The Khan. The Lion. 8? There's 8. Do you ever make dioramas? If you're a Hyperspace Marine 2, what about making yourself some Space Marine 2 inspired scene? It's something I fancy trying to do at some point. I have... Barabastantiok Wendo, what an absolute legend. I also want to get that Alexis Pollux miniature. Gotta go for a meeting. See you later. See you later, Philip. Have a good one. I haven't made dioramas, no. And the reason why I haven't made dioramas is because I am an idiot. And I'm actually not very good at building stuff. So, the reason I haven't done it is because I'm not skilled enough to do it how I see it and want it in my head. And I need to sit down with Reza, if he's still here, and do it with him. Because when I do the painting videos, I'm very confident. That's why I'm able to make painting videos. Anything else, and I immediately I get nervous because I know I'm coming at it from a place of not being a subject matter expert. And if I'm not a subject matter expert in it, I kind of think, why am I making a video at this telling people how to do something? Also, why does anyone care about watching me be rubbish at it? So there is a video that's going to be coming soon, which is basically that. I'm really, really scared to make it. And I just have to suck it up and do it because it's going to take me at least 2 or 3 days to do it. And we'll be doing that in mid-August, towards the end of August type thing. I can tell you exactly what it is. I have been sent a 3D printer. And I know nothing about 3D printing. And I tried to read the instruction manuals, and they are about as obtuse as it's possible to be. It's like, yeah, so, like, set it up and just, like, get printing, bro. And I'm like, what? So there is going to be a video coming out where I have to put something out into the world that goes, hi, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing with this, and enjoy, I guess. Ascalon when, though? I know, right? Good evening, Sean. When is there going to be a proper Sanguinary Guard kit? That's the most important thing. Instead of the... I mean, it's been now... What did they announce? Is it the command sprue that you can now put on jump pack guys and call them Sanguinary Guard? Is that what's happening? That's what's happening, isn't it? Something with Sanguinary Guard. Have they now got a data sheet? I can't remember. It's a funny one, isn't it? We have a bunch of Black Library novels where the Sanguinary Guard are in it, and there aren't Sanguinary Guard in Horus Heresy. Right, there we go. Appreciate all the great demon guides. I've followed many of your paint schemes, and now they are going to the WTC. So cheers for that. Oh, awesome, Joel. Glad I could help. Good old demons. Demons forever. Demons for the win. Best army in 40k. They're not. This bit of music was playing on repeat for weeks at the school at the back of our house. I'm sorry. It's just on the playlist. And it apparently is no longer in copyright, so it just happens. There was one time I'll remember this for the rest of my life. I was at the house that we grew up in Seoul, and the gardener for a neighbor was like a lovely hot summer's day, mid July. It was on summer holidays, and the gardener was just really, really into one song, and so had that on repeat. Just as they were going about their business. They weren't doing the mowing or anything like that. No, they weren't doing anything like that. They were planting or clearing or whatever the hell they were doing. But for 2 hours, one day in the middle of summer, on repeat, was "Oh my baby, oh my baby, oh I," for 2 hours. That one song, and it was like, because it woke me up. That was first thing, is it woke me up, and then for the next 2 hours, it was just that song on repeat. And I think somebody else, another neighbour, had to go around and just like, either turn the song off or I'll turn you off permanently. What's the song called? Tender by Blur. Yeah. Yeah, Tender by Blur. Just on repeat. Are you doing the Kill Team Termination box set? Probably not, bro. Not for the foreseeable future. I don't really have the space in my schedule at the moment, nor in my brain to do it. I might do it later if I can, but I'm probably not going to be doing it for the foreseeable future. Sorry. I'm just finishing up my Tyranid combat patrol from Leviathan using your tutorials. Just have the Psychophage left, looking awesome. However, I have much more hype for AOS currently. Should I sell off the rest of the models from Leviathan and buy Scaventide instead? I haven't played 40k yet, as I felt I needed painted models first, planning to just start by trying combat patrol. I don't know if you should sell off the rest of the Leviathan models. Because you might want to go back to them. Are you saying the Space Marines? Have you just not done the Space Marines? Is it just the Tyranids you've been working on? We'll be doing the new Warcry box coming out this Saturday. Again, I would really like to. I just need to cut out some time. It's just been... Scaventide has just been ever present in my head, and I cannot focus on anything else other than it. But what I'm talking about tonight is I'm worried that because I've been so focused on Scaventide, I don't know what to do next, or what I want to do next, because I need to do something else, and I don't know what that is. Are you going to do Legions Imperialis like you said? I want to try. I need to understand it, and it's so obtuse. The book is just so impenetrable. I keep picking it up and going, because it's not written out in a friendly way. It's written out in a way that somebody who knows what they're doing would look at it and go, ah, this makes sense. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a fool. Hello, Crazy Kim. I go through phases like that. I could listen to the opening to Thunderstruck on a continuous loop currently and not get sick of it. I mean, I used to. I used to be able to do that. I used to obsess over particular songs. I can't do it anymore. I have to listen to a wider variety of stuff. What I do like to do though is I like to pick an album and listen to the whole album all the way through. I like to have an album on repeat. That's generally my thing. Are you interested in any of the Combat Patrols or Warcry warbands? I'm not interested in Combat Patrol because I'm not interested in 40k. Full stop. I'm sorry your power went out, Elliot, man. That sucks. Do you know if it'll get turned on tonight? Today? Wherever you are in the world? Whatever time it is. As for Warcry warbands... Warcry's in a bit of a weird place at the minute, isn't it? Because I'm not sure anybody really knows what's going on with it. Because a lot of them have just been retired. A lot of the ones that were basically slaves to darkness, they've gone now. So like my Cypher Lords, for example, they're no longer viable. They're in Legends. Are you saying my Iron Golem are also Legends? For Age of Sigmar, yes, they will be now. I'm pretty certain. Let me have a look. Slaves to Darkness. Ba. Yep, Iron Golem are now Legends. Yeah, they won't. They're not. They won't be Legends in Warcry. They should still be. They should be still be viable in Warcry. But they're just not going to be. At some point, they are not going to be viable in big AOS anymore. I'm sure there's a plan for Warcry. There is that new set that's coming out. What's it called? Bark and Bone or something? What's the new Warcry set called? Briar and Bone. That's it. Briar and Bone. So we'll see what that looks like. The thing that's slightly I'm not sure. Briar and Bone. Yeah, Briar and Bone. There's going to be some. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Like I say, it will be interesting to see what happens with Warcry. Underworlds is the other thing as well, which I'm interested to see what happens with that, because at the moment I have no clue what's going on with it. Because it looks like I think almost all of the Warhammer Underworld stuff has gone from Big Boy AOS. So maybe it's going to be completely separate from now on. I don't know. We'll find out. Underworlds has been pretty dry for a while. Yeah, the last set that came out, what was it called? There was one with the Brethren of the Bolt and the Skinnerkin in it. Are you looking forward to the Deadpool and Wolverine film? I am, actually. Wintermore, thank you. Warcry is the only rule set I understood immediately. That's great. I played a couple of games of Warcry ages ago when it first came out. And enjoyed it immensely. It's probably a completely different game now. Heresy is the best. Alright, everybody in the chat, tell me what your favourite game is. Doesn't have to be a Warhammer game. What is your favourite game? MESBG. Warhammer Fantasy Battles 8th edition. Ah. Pre-end times? Or during end times? Dota 2 for online games and Heresy for tabletop. Do you know, I've never tried Dota 2. I think it's I think it's too much for me now. Same with League of Legends. I've never tried League of Legends. We've got Kill Team, Warcry, Terra Mystica. Never heard of that one. Oh, it's a board game. Oh, this looks suitably complicated. In a nice way. I mean that as a compliment. I like a complicated board game. It's like I really enjoyed playing, what's it called? Is it... Yeah, Lords of Waterdeep. Lords of Waterdeep is great fun to play. It's actually not that complicated, but there's quite a few different things for it. 1980s Talisman, Witcher 3. PC, it has to be World of Warcraft. Okay, we're doing games as well. I mean, I love this. Don't try it. I have played 6,000 hours and it makes you a worse person. Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to. Have you played the Battlestar Galactica board game? I haven't. I haven't. What's the name of the board game that I really like? Al would know. We own a copy of it. Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter's great fun. Were any of the Lord of the Rings models you did for the channel metal or plastic? I think every model I've done for Lord of the Rings has been plastic so far that's on the channel. Have you painted a Mumak yet? I've just bought one. No, but I have one. I have one to paint, courtesy of Mr. Reza Prime. He bought it for me for Christmas. So I have one to do. War of the Ring, Skull and Roses, D&D 5th edition. D&D's great fun. We were going to do a D&D campaign on the channel. That Mr. Gwatkin was going to write and Dungeon Master for us. But I think life got too busy for him. Have you ever played any of the Baldur's Gate games? I was thinking of getting 3, but I'm not sure whether to pull the trigger. Baldur's Gate 3, I think, changed... Baldur's Gate 3 changed the game for me. I thought it was so exceptionally good that it was a video game that was made by people who absolutely adore Dungeons and Dragons and absolutely adore making great games. So Baldur's Gate 3 is of a level of quality that I have not seen from a product in a very, very long time. The only thing that I think has come close recently is Age of Sigmar 4. Because it is just... Baldur's Gate 3 was written and made and directed and designed and acted and made with such love and care and appreciation for the source material and for the thing that they were making. It just feels like a once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-a-moment piece of brilliance that is a culmination of a lot of people's ultimate love and passion for something. So... Baldur's Gate 3 absolutely went straight into my top 10 of all time video games. Easily. Maybe that's what we should do. We should just for a month, just play video games on the channel. That would really upset YouTube. It's such a bad idea. No more fourth, video games only. Exactly, Marley. Just... Today we're going to be playing Baldur's Gate 3 and then we're going to play Final Fantasy X. Because I know it's not everybody's favourite, but Final Fantasy X for me was my favourite. Because I think it was the first one that I really understood and played. In close second is Final Fantasy VII. The original. And I really enjoyed the remake, and I haven't played the second part of the remake actually. But yeah, Final Fantasy X for me was that was the first one that I really played. It was also the first one you got to sink 20 hours into Blitzball exclusively. Only 20 hours? I think what you mean is 200 hours. And it's not great, but it's really good. It's so much fun. I love Blitzball. Warhipster Gaming Plus. Hello everybody, it's Warhipster here, coming at you with another Gaming Plus tutorial, and today we're going to be playing Space Marine 2, and we're going to be showing you how to get the most broken bolt gun loadout in the game. You play Soulbound on stream. As in Soulbound as in the tabletop RPG game. The RPG game. The Dungeons and Dragons like. You tease. Oh, the AOS... wasn't that called Wrath and Ruin? What was it called? Realms of Ruin. Not Wrath and Ruin, that's something else. Marnius, Calgar, and Chums finished. Pics on Discord if interested. Ooh, I'm going to go and have a look now. Where did you drop them, Gavin? Show off your stuff. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. There's the boys. Oh, you love to see it. Oh, the Victrix God are so cool, aren't they? Blade Guard before Blade Guard. I really want them to expand this. I want them to bring back the Banner of Macragge and the Chapter Champion. Don't actually play the games, do a commentary video on someone else playing the game. Well, make React content. Become one of the laziest YouTubers on the market. Hello everybody, today we're going to be reacting to Gino Machino as he does a run through Elden Ring. Oh wow! Oh my god! He's doing such a great job! How do people do this? I'll be so bad at that. I'll be so bad at that. Reaction to Warhammer painting. Oh. No. No, 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 no. That's how people's feelings get hurt. What was the React video where the guy left and it was just an empty chair with the video playing? I think that was Shroud was doing that. Go and react to React content and call them all lazy. Yeah, I mean, that is the way you do it. You make a reaction video to people reacting to memes and then call them lazy. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. If you won the lottery, would you leave the YouTube world? I would not, Sugar Water Purple. If I won the lottery, I would simply invest a lot of it into making YouTube videos even easier. I would also... What I would probably do is I would probably just close the Patreon and turn off YouTube memberships because I don't need money anymore. Do you see what I mean? I would just be like, I've won the lottery, so I don't need... You guys shouldn't give me any money. But I would still continue to make videos. And we probably would expand the business to make even more videos. But for me to be able to move to just making one a week, rather than making 2 videos a week, as a bare minimum, is what I would do. React to your own painting while you paint. That's the only way I know I wouldn't upset anyone's feelings. And even then, I think I might hurt my own feelings. If I won it, I'd finish my Chaos Dwarf army with actual Forge World models. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I would just do, like, a monthly video of painting a Titan. I've won the lottery. Money's no object now. Today we're just going to be painting different versions of Titans. That's an awful lot to do if you only win £19. I know, Dave. But that's what we do. That's why I don't enter the lottery. No, I mean, look, that's if Red Warlord just dropped. No, just do the Ultimate Contrast plus Warlord Titan painting video where we paint 10 different Titan schemes in one video, but we do it on big Titans rather than on Legions Imperialis Titans. You know? That would be a hell of a job. Also, it'd be a hell of a job for whoever would have to build it, because I'm not building it. That's a lot of contrast. It is Splitfire Gaming, but we've already proved it once. We've already done it once. This guy. We painted one Titan with contrast paint. He needs a home. He doesn't have one. He just sits on my shelf. I've got nowhere to put him. What do you think, Josh? Soulbound RPG streams? I could see it happening. I don't know. It's. I'm gonna look it up now. So when I search Soulbound on YouTube, there are 2 videos, and they are not the top hit, and they are from 3 years ago, including one from Cubicle 7 themselves, 7.8 thousand views. So, it's a lot of work to do something that ultimately I don't think it would do very well. Which is your favourite of the spearheads you've painted? Honestly, the Vigilant Brotherhood. I really like the Hallowed Knights one. I think it looks great. It's probably the gem. I do have a couple more spearheads to do, of course. We've got the Lumineth one to do, the Head of Knights of Sinesh one to do, and the Fire Slayers one to do. Kind of want to hear your Stormcast Eternals voice. I don't really have a Stormcast Eternals voice. I just have Stentorian. Which can often be confused for Space Marine. I'm not sure what to do since I don't know if the new grittier style would stick out. It's painted differently to the rest of my army. I mean, bear with me 1 second, Marley. You can. I'll demonstrate this for you. You can see what you think, right? Because if I just hang on. Luckily, I have all my Hallowed Knights in the house. So if we go overhead, if I turn on that. So obviously here we have the new Lord Veritant, and then we have the old Vindictors that we put them next to. But then we have the Annihilators. But then when you put them like this, you can't really tell a difference. There is a difference, obviously there is. And at the moment it's difficult with the Stormcast Eternals because at the moment we don't know what else is coming for the Ruination Chamber. So at the moment the Ruination Chamber consists of Reclusians and Prosecutors. There's got to be more. There has to be more. It can't just be that. So it might be that more stuff is going to come for the Ruination Chamber, that it'll make more sense in the context of the entirety of the Hallowed Knights. So if you have like your Warrior Chamber looking all bright and shiny and epic, but your Ruination Chamber looking great and like a little bit more dark, it would make more sense if the box had more Ruination Chamber units in it, but it currently doesn't. So it's like, it's one of those things of, I would probably paint them Ruination. So probably paint, I mean, I have done, but I've painted them Ruination because I believe there's going to be more Ruination stuff. So much so that you'll have a really good core of Ruination things. Because right now, it would be silly to play a Ruination Chamber army because you would be like, was it? There would be, well, you'd have to put in a lot of Prosecutors and Reclusians in order to make a Ruination Chamber army. But there must be 2 or 3 more units coming. There must be. We know that the Knight Azeroth is coming, and that's also going to be Ruination Chamber. So you can't have the Knight Azeroth, the Lord Veritant, the Lord Vigilant. What else is in that box? The Lord Terminos. You can't have 4 characters leading 2 units. Yeah, I reckon there's at least... Well, I'm hoping. So this is where I am inspired for this. I am excited for the next wave of Stormcast Eternals. What I think we're going to get is I think we're going to get a unit of 5 somethings or others for Ruination. I think we're going to get a cavalry unit, and I think we're going to get a heavier weapons version of the Reclusians. So I think there's going to be 3, because I think we're going to get a multi-part version of the Reclusians. I don't think we're going to get a multi-part version of the Liberators, because they already technically are, because you have the option for hammers and single hammer or dual hammer. But I think there's going to be at least 3 Ruination Chamber units, plus the Knight Azeroth. There might be another character, but I doubt it. I would also guess that there might be 1 or 2 more, because I think the Lord Celestant is going to get a new model as well, so that'll be another Warrior Chamber model. New Judicators. I'd like new Judicators, but I don't think we will get new Judicators, because I think Vigilors are taking their spot, basically. I'd like a new Judicators unit. That would be cool. But you've got the Vigilors there, who are kind of your short to medium range, and then you've got the Vanguard Raptors with the long strike crossbows, which are your heavier option. What we don't have is we don't have a War Machine anymore, or at least we won't as of next year when it goes to Legends, because the Celestar Ballista is going. I'm out here waiting for a new Chaos Lord on Manticore or some sweet new Deepkin units. Deepkin are probably about due now, a second wave, in the same way that Sylvaneth got their last edition. They got Belthanos and the Spite Rider Lancers and the what are they called? Revenant Seekers. I think Ideneth are due like a 2 or 3. Thanks for your Celestial Vindicator tutorial. I painted my Stormcast Skaven Tide Spearhead like that. Oh, awesome, Emo Delph. That's awesome. Do you think they might release a new Stormcast unit armed with sword and board now that Liberators have lost that loadout? I don't know if they will. I'm not sure. Because Vanquishers are the sword guys. So, I don't know if they see that there's a need to have sword and board. Maybe. But I don't know. What do you think the rats will get? So I would be inclined to believe that the rats will get a more elite infantry. I think there's going to be new storm vermin, personally. Just, you know, because clan rats come in units of 20. I would be surprised if you get something that comes in units of 10. And they're just a little bit spikier. I think they might get a new Doom Wheel, but maybe not. They're not going to get a new Vermin Lord. We get the new Abhorrent thing, which I think is basically a replacement for the Hell Pit Abomination or whatever it's called. We might get some new Plague Monks, something like that. But also, I think there'll be stuff that we've never seen or contemplated before from the Skaven. That's always the thing. You never know what's going to happen with Age of Sigmar. You can think it's going to be a bunch of replaced units, but then they go, oh yeah, by the way, here is the, what's it called? The Big Pig. Maw Crusher. Maw Crusher? No. Maw Grunter. The Maw Grunter with Hacking Crew. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, didn't see that coming. Weird Brute Wreckers as well. Never saw them coming. Do you prefer 40k or AOS? AOS, 100%. No questions asked. Do you think they'll get rid of the elves and dwarves in Cities of Sigmar and just focus on humans? I don't want them to. What I want them to do is I want them to do another release for Cities of Sigmar that is a redo of Dwarden and of elves. That would be really cool to see. I was hoping it was going to happen with Cities of Sigmar, so I was hoping things like the Ironweld Great Cannon might have a Dwarden in it, and that the Wildercore Hunters might have some elves in them, in amongst it, but we didn't get it. So I hope that their next job, now that the Dispossessed basically have moved into the old world, and one would assume that the elves will as well at some point, that we do get some Dwarden units, but just like new ones, because new Dwarden that are like more traditional dwarves, so not Slayers, not Fire Slayers, and not Caradron Overlords, is something that we really desperately need. Same for elves. We just need we need those, because the Cities of Sigmar with the Steel Helms are basically your baseline average human. Well, now we need the baseline average citizenry of the elves and the dwarves as well. Do you think we get Dark Elves new faction classic Dark Elf lead, but Madison in AOS? Yeah, I think there will be. I don't think they'll be called Dark Elves or Drakari or Druki or anything like that. I think we're going to get Ulgu, which will be Malarion's lot. Because we haven't been to the Realm of Shadow. We've been to Hish. We've been to Gur. We've been to Akshi. We've been to Gyron. Been to Shaiish. Been to Shamon. We've been all over the place, but we haven't spent very much time at all in Ulgu. So I think Malarion, otherwise known as Malekith, I think his lot will happen. And I think it'll happen this edition as well. But yeah. What is known from the Realm of Shadow? We don't really know a lot about it. It's quite a dark place. Can't really see very much. Perhaps we'll never see what the Realm of Shadow, the denizens of the Realm of Shadow look like, because you just can't see them. They'll just be like, this range is out now, it's just a bunch of empty bases, and you just say whatever the hell you want about it. Don't even put basing material on them. Or if you do, spray it black, because it's all dark. That would be funny. Well, that can't be right. Can't be shadow without light. Well, exactly. There is the realm of light right next to it. So in the map of the mortal realms, you have the realm of Hish here, and that is all bright light. And in the realm of Ulgu is right next to it. In between them is the sub-realm of Ulgish, which is where Slaanesh is currently held, imprisoned by the machinations of Tyrion and Teclis and Malarion and Marathi. Were you excited to see old school Stormcast come to 40k with the release of the new Agents of the Imperium model? Oh god. That Kotiaz model, man. It's so bad. It's just dumb. What about terrain for cities? Do you think we'll see that on their next release? I'm jealous of my friends that have cool army specific terrain. Yeah. I think you'll see. I would hope that you will see faction specific terrain now start to drop for everybody who doesn't have it, including Stormcast. So it wouldn't surprise me if part of the multi-part release, when it happens later this year, I would assume, is that actually one of their things that they get is a piece of terrain, because they've got their endless spells already. They just don't have a faction terrain piece. Kotiaz or the Bretonian character model from 2003 released in 2024. Oh god. I mean, I would pick Kotiaz just because it's a newer plastic model. It would be easier to work with. Would love lore stuff on AOS in your channel, though. Yeah. I'd like to do it. I worry that it would be really bad. Wonder what the terrain for Caradron Overlords will be. You could just have it as like a skydock. Just a big mooring station that you can float into and heal 3 on a friendly boat. Something like that. Crazy Kim says, I don't play Warhammer, but I find the Blood Angels and Sanguinius cool. I will be using your paint guide to paint a big model of Sanguinius soon. Thanks for making it. Oh, thank you, Crazy Kim. The Blood Angels are the best angels, that's for sure. And everybody loves them. Because they're everybody's favourite. especially around these parts, given as there's like 25 videos for how to paint blood angels on the channel. How many videos are there for how to paint blood angels on Warhipster channel? Playlists. Blood Angels. 36 videos. Good lord. There's a lot of Blood Angels. Dark Angels are the best angels. Dark Angels are pretty cool. But they're no Blood Angels. Currently, the lore stuff is mostly presented with slideshow pictures from GW. You could do it with really models from AOS painted by you. I mean, I do have a lot of Age of Sigmar models. I really ought to film... I was going to film a video once I finished Scaventide, where I just have all my AOS models on the tabletop. And just go, look, there you go. I'm quite a fan. Here is my Age of Sigmar collection. Behold, in all its glory. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll just make a 4-hour long video about the lore of Age of Sigmar. That would be fun. At least the Dark Angel's Primarch has returned. Where's Sanguinius at? Well, Sanguinius never left because he's been in his coffin since the time of the Horus Heresy. So, you know. Sanguinius didn't abandon anyone. He just died. Yeah, just a video that's behold my stuff. Do you like Age of Sigmar? Because I got Age of Sigmar. There's a lot of it over there. It's my photo booth is over there. Red thirst intensifies. Exactly. Anyway. Guys, it is 25 minutes to 11, which means we have been streaming for over 2 hours. So it is time for me to go and do something else before I go to bed. Because I've got to finish some Jezzails. That's what I have to do. Here is the Jezzail. That's a Jezzail. As you can see, it's nearly done. We just have to do all of the metallics. And the glowy stuff. So I'm going to go and do that. And then I'm going to get an early night for the first time in a very long time. So, I am going to go to bed after this, later, but I hope you enjoyed this one. Tomorrow you can see a painting video. It is going to be Contrast Plus, how to paint Hallowed Knights Reclusians. I hope you enjoy that one. And then the Jezzails will probably be out on Saturday. And then the terrain will be happening next week. I'll be painting it after I finish these Jezzails. I have to finish them first. So thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you very much for 90 likes on the stream. Thank you very much for the 12 new members that we have today. That's very, very cool. You guys are the best. I'm going to raise the hand of farewell now. Here it is. And I'm going to wave it at you like this. So I'll see you all very, very soon for a painting video. Tomorrow, 7:30 PM. Have a good one. Best audience ever. Love you. Good night. Have a good one. Bye.